The circular economy. Half a revolution? The UMS7 model reveals a major missing piece. Sponsored by the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the circular economy has dozens and dozens of presenters and has been gaining thousands of followers. Main idea behind the circular economy makes a lot of sense. Instead of producing tons and tons of waste and junk, the economy designs products and processes in such a way that waste and junk are recycled into new products. So now you can have the regeneration of natural systems. You can design out waste and pollution, and you can keep products and materials in use. It is a new way to design, make, and use things within planetary boundaries. The most obvious example, amazing example, of this junk turned into value is exemplified by the NEMAC Corporation in Monterrey, Mexico. Here, hundreds of thousands of Coke and Pepsi aluminum cans are converted into engine blocks. This way of thinking is very systems-oriented. The circular economy is mapped as a huge series of loops that connect to a recycling process. All this looks just fine. However, something very important is missing. What is the economy they are talking about? I have asked a room full of postgraduate students of economics, what is the economy? If the economy were an animal, what's the animal's name? After watching the what faces, I ask, what is the organization that you study when you study economics? Now, they look really lost. If they had remembered the founder of economics, Adam Smith, they would quickly reply that the economy studies the nation state as the organization that produces goods and services through the allocation of resources. The fact that today's students are toying with the idea of socialism means that nobody is teaching them some very basic facts about the whole economic system. The circular economy by the MacArthur Foundation is unfortunately contributing to this grave omission. In my book, The Cybernetic State, written in 1994, I proved that the economy that people really allude to is the nation state. However, because of the reductionist history of scientific knowledge, the study of the nation state is carried out using 3 different sciences, each one examining a different aspect. Economics isolates the production and distribution of goods and services. Politics examines the governance and decision-making processes. And law studies how to exercise control. 1 animal, 3 disciplines. Unless you study all 3 at the same time using management cybernetics. The UMS7 handles decision-making, control, and exchanges in the same model, that of a viable system as proposed by Stafford Beer since the early 1970s. The UMS7 is one model, and it explains politics, law, and economics at the same time. Above, or in the picture, you can see the structure of the nation state and the structure of the Constitution, and the structure where goods and services are produced and exchanged, all rolled into one. The circular economy is missing the meta-system, or the governance system. This grave omission occurs because most people still have an obsolete mental model of what an economy is. They hear about the market economy and do not stop to consider that markets are good, self-regulating systems to a certain point. Beyond markets, the government, through politics and laws, sets the rules of the economic game. How good these laws are is what creates a great economic system that competes with other nation states. This is how, for instance, the US beats Europe. And whether we like it or not, government has the last word when the going gets rough, as it did in 2008 when it bailed the too big to fail banks. The government is an important player in the economy. A market economy is a misnomer. The capitalist, or the so-called market economy, is not better than a social economy because of the competition or the motivation, or because capitalists are nice and socialists are evil, but because capitalism induces self-organization and despises authoritarian centralized decision makers. In Ashby's terms, capitalism absorbs variety better than any other economic system, producing more innovation and faster adaptation. Capitalism follows the viability rules found in nature, and socialism does not. These are the maximum autonomy principle, the recursive structure principle, and the homeostatic or highly circular nature of every communication channel. Centralized planning, authoritarian rule, and lack of democracy produces an economy that lacks requisite variety. The former USSR tried massive use of computers and software to try to make centralized decision-making work, but they never could get it right, and they lost the Cold War. New socialist mentalities seem not to know the history, which is perhaps understandable. The real problem, however, is that they do not understand the cybernetics behind the success of capitalism and economic freedom. Shown here is the complexity of the communication channels needed to ensure the proper performance of the UMS7 seven systemic functions, which are needed for viability. Socialists ignore or deny the need for any of them. The circular economy is a great concept. Reusing, recycling, redesigning, and restoring nature are great ideas. However, the real economic revolution requires changing the current mental models. It goes beyond recycling materials. Corporations have to organize as viable systems themselves and create larger and larger production chains. People have to think differently but continue to defend personal freedoms. Capitalism must evolve not only into a circular economy, but also into a viable economy, one where the same model can be used to explain the state, the government, the corporations, and even individual businesses. Management cybernetics has been waiting for some time for this to happen.